Hello everyone. In this video we will be learning about Earth's magnetism. So I have drawn a sphere over here and let us say that it represents Earth. The blue line is representing the geographic north and geographic south of the Earth. That is the axis about which the Earth rotates. Now we know that there is a magnetism property or magnetic property shown by the Earth, and that is why if there is a freely suspended magnet, it always tries to align itself in the geographic north and south direction. Now today we will understand what is the cause of Earth's magnetism, and for this we all know that Earth is made up of three layers: crust, mantle and core. The outer one is crust, then there is mantle, then there is core. And the core also, the innermost part of the core is very solid because of the intense pressure on it. But the outer core contains molten iron and nickel. And these are magnetic materials. So when they move in the core, they form convection currents. And the reason is because the temperature in certain part of the Earth is higher than the other. So the hotter part moves upwards and the colder one comes down, and this forms the convection currents. So these convection currents, they give rise to the circulating currents, and we know that circulating currents always produce magnetic field. So it is because of these convection currents, which is flowing because of the molten iron and nickel which are flowing inside the deep core of the Earth, that there is a magnetic field inside the Earth. Now this magnetic field is such that you can assume that there is a bar magnet inside the Earth like this, which has a south pole over here and which has a north pole over here. So the magnetic axis shown is not exactly coinciding with the geographic north and south direction. There is an angle of 11.3 degrees between the two. Okay, so the position of magnetic south is this: 79.74 degree north latitude, 71.8 degree west longitude, and it lies in northern Canada. And the position of magnetic north is 79.74 degrees south latitude, 108.22 degree east longitude, and it lies in Antarctica. So this is how we can represent the geographic north and south axis of the Earth and the magnetic south and north axis of the Earth. And you should also observe this carefully, that I have drawn geographic north here and this is magnetic south. Means that we have a magnetic south pole here. And that is the reason why when you suspend a magnet freely and it aligns itself in the we say that it aligns itself in the geographic north-south direction. The reason is because let us say that this is a geographic north direction and the magnet has aligned itself. So the north pole of the magnet that you have suspended will be attracted towards the south pole of the Earth's magnet. And because this is the north pole and it is trying to find out the geographic north pole, although because it is lying very close to it, therefore we say that this is a north seeking pole, right? So this is a north seeking pole. Therefore always remember that if here we have geographic north and here we have geographic south, then here we will have magnetic south and here we will have magnetic north. So this is how we represent the Earth's magnet, which we say that is it lies inside it. But the reason why it is there is because of the presence of the molten iron and nickel, which keep on flowing inside the core. And the strength of the magnetic field of the Earth is approximately 10 to the power minus 5 Teslas. Now, if we want to show the magnetic field pattern of the Earth, so I am just erasing this and we can draw the magnetic field pattern of the Earth. Right? So we will draw it like we have drawn earlier the magnetic field pattern due to the bar magnet. So if this is the south pole, so the magnetic field will be like this, the magnetic field will be like this. from here we can draw the magnetic field to be like this, from here we can draw the magnetic field pattern to be like this, and so on. So because this is the magnetic north, the arrows will be like this, and they will point away from the north pole, they will move into the south pole. So this is how we represent the Earth's magnetic field pattern, which is actually what we are representing, the magnetic field produced due to this bar magnet, which is just an assumption. Then in order to find out how much is the Earth's magnetic field at a particular point, so we have to know certain quantities, and these quantities are known as the elements of the Earth's magnetic field. So I'm erasing this, you can write down elements of Earth's magnetic field. Now, there are three elements which help us in finding out the magnetic field of the Earth, and one of them is known as angle of declination. The other is known as angle of dip. And the third one is known as horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. So if we know these three components, we can find out how much is the Earth's magnetic field at a particular point. Now, just to give you a view for this, assume that this is Earth, and further assume that this point, which is the center of this, and this point, they are representing the geographic north and geographic south. Okay, so there is an axis passing through it, and it is representing the geographic north-south direction of the Earth about which it rotates. Now what we can draw is, from this point, we can draw various circles which will connect this point and this point. So I have drawn all these black lines, which you can see are connecting the North Pole with the South Pole. So there are many circles that you can draw. Okay. Now, from these circles, let us say we have considered this circle, one circle. Now on this circle, you can have a vertical plane that passes through it like this. We can show it like this. So let us say that this is a vertical plane, and this is the line that we have considered, and you just pierce this board into it like this. So this will represent a vertical plane that is passing through this circle, and this vertical plane will contain the geographic north-south axis because it is passing through that point. Similarly, you can take another vertical plane from the other circle, also this black one, and suppose this is the other circle, so you have taken this as the vertical plane. Now you can have many vertical planes. As many circles you have, as many vertical planes you can have, but all those vertical planes, they will have the geographic north and south axis common. So one is this plane, another is, you can say, this plane, then third plane, then fourth plane, and so on. So whichever plane you are drawing, one plane, for example, second plane, for example, third plane, which is passing through all these circles, so all these planes will have one line common, and that one line will be the geographic north-south axis. So these vertical planes are called the geographic meridians, right? So first thing that you have to understand before trying to find out how much is the angle of declination, dip, and this, we must know what is the geographic meridian. So any vertical plane that passes through the geographic north-south direction from the surface of the earth is called the geographic meridian. Now, you have another meridian on the surface of the earth, that is magnetic meridian. So, because the geographic north-south direction is not coinciding with the magnetic north-south direction, so let us assume that the magnetic north-south direction is somewhere here. So, from this point, exactly on the opposite side, we will have another point exactly opposite, which will make the magnetic south and magnetic north part, and you can pierce scale through it, which will connect these two points. Now, here from these 2 points, we can draw a large number of circles again, and again through these circles, if we pass the, suppose the red circles are, let us say, showing the circles which are joining the magnetic south with the magnetic north. So now you can have vertical planes which pass through this circle, then keeping it here only through this circle, keeping it here only through this circle, and so on. So all these circles which are drawn with red ink, when we will pass vertical planes through them, they will contain the magnetic north-south axis, and all these vertical planes are known as the magnetic meridian of the earth. So we have two things, the geographic meridian and the magnetic meridian of the earth, and at any point the angle between the geographic meridian and the magnetic meridian is known as the angle of declination. Okay, so now I am just removing all this, and I will try to picturize the angle of declination on the board. So let us say this is Earth and this is your geographic north, this is your geographic south. Further, assume that because this is a sphere, you have to assume that this is a sphere, and on the sphere at any one particular point, assume that this is the magnetic south, and exactly opposite to it here, assume this is magnetic north. Okay. Now, suppose you have a magnetic compass needle and you place the magnetic compass needle on the surface of the earth at the point P. Okay. Now, the compass needle is magnetic in nature, so the north pole of the compass needle will point towards the magnetic south of the earth. So it means that the needle will start pointing like this, because it wants to point towards this, the magnetic south pole of the earth. You have kept the magnetic compass needle at any point on the surface of the earth, and it has started pointing in a particular direction. So this is the direction. Now, generally we say that the direction in which the needle points is the north direction. But you can see that this is not exactly the north direction. Our actual north, true north of the earth lies here. Right? So the angle between the true north and the direction in which the needle points, this angle is called angle of declination. Angle of declination. So this is a very simple way to understand that what is angle of declination? The angle made between the direction of true north at a place with the direction in which the magnetic needle points is called the angle of declination. Now, in order to understand the textbook definition, so at this particular point, okay, so at this particular point you can have a circle like this. Suppose this is the point, this point is, let us say, here on the red mark here. So you can draw a circle like this. Now this circle can have a vertical plane passing through it which contains the point P. So that vertical plane which contains this point and this axis also will be the geographic meridian of the earth. Then you have considered this point. Now from this point, connecting it to this point, because let us say this point is representing the magnetic south of the earth. So now we will connect this point, which is the magnetic south, to this particular point, and we can draw a circle. Then again take a vertical plane passing through this. So this vertical plane will be intersecting with the vertical plane which you have drawn on the red line, and both the vertical planes will make the same angle theta. So you can understand it by the textbook definition in terms of the vertical planes, and otherwise we can also understand it this way, that if you place a magnetic compass needle on the surface of the earth, then this is how we can represent the angle of declination, and we can also represent it by the symbol D. Okay. Now further, suppose you have a dip needle. So this was initially what we have considered is a magnetic compass needle, and we have all seen the magnetic compass needle. It is like this, then it is in a horizontal plane, then there is a pivot, and the needle is like this, right? This is how we represent a magnetic compass needle. So it is free to rotate about a vertical axis. The needle lies in the horizontal plane, but it is free to rotate about the vertical axis. Now there is another needle which is known as dip needle. Okay, and this dip needle is opposite of this. So the dip needle is mounted on a wooden frame like this. It is mounted on a wooden frame like this. So it is in a vertical plane, but it is free to rotate about the horizontal axis. So this is a dip needle, and if on the surface of the earth at any particular point we place a dip needle, then what will happen? Let us say at the point P you have kept the dip needle. Then suppose the dip needle is showing an angle like this. Suppose it just tilts itself. Now it has tilted itself because of the presence of the Earth's magnetic field, and it tries to align itself in the direction of Earth's magnetic field, right? So the dip needle has tried to align itself in the direction of Earth's magnetic field, and let us say this is the horizontal line, and this is making an angle of delta with the horizontal line that you have drawn here. Then this delta is known as angle of dip. Angle of dip. So what is the angle of dip? It is the angle made by the horizontal line of the magnetic needle, the dip needle, with the direction in which it aligns itself at any position on the surface of the earth. Correct? Now, what actually happens is that you know that the Earth's magnetic field is like this. We drew it earlier also. I am drawing it again. So the Earth's magnetic field is like this. Now, so this position is very close to the North Pole. So let us say that we bring the dip needle close to the pole. Now, when you bring the needle close to the pole here, let us say here, what will happen? You are very close to the pole. It is only in the diagram that you can see the distance is quite large, but let us say that this is very small distance and the needle is lying close to the pole. Now all the magnetic field lines are entering into it vertically like this. So the dip needle which was like this, okay, it was like this initially. What will happen is that the north pole of the dip needle will go like this, because it will show that it wants to go into the south direction. So the north pole will be vertical and you will see the dip needle like this. Similarly, if you are at the magnetic north pole, the south pole of the needle will point like this, right? So again it will become vertical. So if the needle is vertical, this needle is vertical, then with the horizontal it is making an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, so it means that at the poles the angle of dip is 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So at the poles the angle of dip is 90. Now if we talk about the equator, at the equator what happens that suppose this is the dip needle and you are on the surface of the earth at the equator, then the dip needle, it aligns itself like this horizontally. So for example, this is the dip needle, so it will align itself like this. So it is not making an angle with the horizontal, it is making zero angle with the horizontal. So at the equator the angle of dip is 0 degrees. So the angle of dip varies from 0 to 90. Okay, so this is the range of variation of the angle of dip. Now we want to understand what is the range of variation of the angle of declination that we earlier discussed. Now I will take the compass needle here. All of you please see it carefully. Let us say that the compass needle is here, this one. Now the compass needle wants to point in the direction of the south pole. The north pole will point in this direction, but the actual geographic north is in this direction. So this angle is obtuse. Suppose you keep the magnetic needle here, so it will point here and the actual geographic north direction is here. So it is making an angle of 180 degrees. So there is a position on the surface of the earth where angle of declination can be 180 degrees. Now let us assume that there is a circle which is drawn on the surface of the earth which connects the magnetic south pole with the north pole, and you keep the magnetic needle here. Now on this circle, this needle will try to point in the direction of the magnetic south pole. So it will be this direction, and the direction is same as the geographic north pole. So here the angle is 0 degrees, which means that the angle of declination can vary from 0 to 180 degrees. So here it is an acute angle. Here it is lying on the same circle. So angle is 0 degrees. Here the directions are exactly opposite. So the angle is 180 degrees. So the angle of declination can vary from acute to any obtuse angle up till 180 degrees. Whereas the angle of dip can take values from 0 degree to 90 degrees. So this is how we find out both these values. Now there is a third component. I am erasing it from here. There is a third component which is known as the horizontal component of the earth. Okay. Now let us say that at any particular point, this is the direction of the earth's magnetic field. Let us say. And this we know that because this is the direction in which the dip needle was pointing. And this is the horizontal direction. You can take any axis as the horizontal direction. And this is the vertical part of the stand. Now if this is the horizontal line, so the angle here is the angle of dip. So this is the angle of dip. You can also call it as the angle of inclination, and we can also represent it by I. Now if this is I, you can write this as the horizontal component, and using your trigonometry, this will be BE cos delta. This will be BE sin delta, and this is the vertical component. So Earth's magnetic field has two components, the horizontal and the vertical component. So the horizontal component is equal to BE cos delta, and the vertical component is equal to BE sin delta, right? Now using these two, if we know what is the horizontal and the vertical component of magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field at a place, we can square both of these. Squaring these. Squaring these will give us BH square plus BV square is equal to BE square. Then cos square delta plus sine square delta, cos square delta plus sine square delta, and which is 1 by trigonometry. So the Earth's magnetic field can be written as root of BH square plus BV square. So this relationship is very useful to find out what is the Earth's magnetic field at a place. You can also find out what is the angle of inclination or dip. So that is tan delta, and tan delta can be found out by using BV by BH, because earlier you have written BV is equal to BE sine delta, then this divided by BH, which is BE cos delta, you will get tan delta is equal to BV by BH. So in many numericals also in your textbook, you will be using these relationships and finding out the values which will be asked. And these three elements help us to find out the Earth's magnetic field. Thank you. We'll be doing much more in the next videos. Thank you.